I've been impressed with the kind of the democracy, or the stable government, the healthcare. Our son is in a private school here. We've been very impressed with the education here. There's been a big surge in the number of people moving here from other countries, but in particular the United States. And I think you have to know, if you have any, if you're watching the news at all, that there's been just a lot of kind of political upheaval and change in the United States, and it's becoming very divisive, right? People are becoming, there's always been a strong two-party system in the U.S., right? Republican and Democrats, liberal and conservative. But that, in my lifetime, has always been something where people still got along. You could be friends. It was, sir, I might not agree with you politically, but we can still be friends. But in the last few years, it's become where it's even divided friendships and families. And so I think people are just feeling that, and they want to come somewhere. And that was one, not the most important, but one of the things that we were looking at is, where was the government stable? I mean, I know you have different parties here. You have progressive, you have conservative, but it doesn't tend to be on issues that divide people. So my family, that consists of my husband, Hiram, and our son, Nico. Our son is 16, almost 17. And we left Wisconsin. We arrived about 3 months ago. I should back up. We actually came down last winter in July, your winter. So getting used to calling July winter, because that was our summer. But we came down in July for, I call it a scouting trip. I think we had just reached out to you, started some conversations with you at that time. And our first impressions were, this is certainly a place that we want to give serious consideration. We were considering we had started for several years looking at different places to move to. We wanted to move abroad for a couple of reasons. One, for retirement purposes for my husband and I, but also it would be a wonderful experience for our son to study abroad for a couple of years with Spanish. So we looked at other countries. We looked at places in Europe, and then we narrowed it down to 4 or 5 countries, one of which was Uruguay. So we came down to Uruguay, like I said, in July. And then that really kind of bumped it up to probably number one or number 2. Costa Rica is wonderful, but there's many things about Uruguay that Costa Rica does not have. We can talk about that in great detail. But it's also just too hot. History is just, like I said, Wisconsin is very cold, but I didn't want to go from super cold to super hot. So those were really kind of the last 2 countries we were considering. And then came back down again, and then decided let's go back again in December, because we were very close to making that decision. We're adjusting to the much slower, laid back lifestyle. It's much calmer here. So, our day might just literally walk across the street and sit on the beach for a couple hours, just take a walk, just stroll through the neighborhood. We don't have a car. We got rid of our cars. It's just wonderful. I don't miss them at all. So you walk everywhere. But in the neighborhood that I'm in, which, as you mentioned, is called Positos, in many neighborhoods like this within the city of Montevideo, you don't need a car. You can walk everywhere. You can walk to the grocery store, to the butcher, to the vegetable stands, to the bakery, to the pharmacy, to the veterinarian. We brought our dogs, so to the vets and veterinarians. So everything's within walking distance. I probably use the bus at least 5 or 6 times a week. Nico uses it every single day to go to school. So we use the bus. We got a bus pass. Very simple, very easy, very inexpensive. I believe it ends up being about $1.50 US to ride the bus. So use the bus a lot. And then, if you don't want to ride the bus, or you don't want to walk, or maybe it's late at night, you don't want to wait for a bus, Uber is so easy here. So easy. I was just actually joking with some friends the other day. We've met more people here in 3 months than I think I met in 20 years in the US. I mean, there's such a large, we do say most people who might be watching these videos will call it an expat community. I know there's some people don't like that term. They like to use the word immigrant, but there's a large US immigrant expat and other countries too, as you know, here. And you just start getting more and more and more and more. And that maybe probably have 30 or 40 friends who are either from the US or some other country. We've had very positive support, very positive support. I'll give you an example, a story. Just literally 2 or 3 days ago, I wanted to buy a rug for our apartment, so I went on Marketplace, right? Because you use Marketplace here. People want to use Marketplace. And so I, connected with this woman, and she said, yeah, I have a rug, come pick it up at my apartment. And older lady, she was standing in her doorway with the rug, and you had met us, and she looked at me and she had a high face. She said, I could tell that you are from the US. You're not Uruguayan. And so she said, just be careful here, watch out. We love you. And she gave me a big kiss and a hug. And she said, welcome to our country. And she was like overly supportive and loving. And then messaged me afterwards. She says, I'm happy to know you're welcome here. But even that's maybe an extreme, but people are very, very welcoming. You're gonna find the cost of living here less. It's less expensive. It might be more than where you live if you live in a small rural community in the United States. However, what I have to tell people is I've just really in the last few weeks sat down and started to really looking at my budget and budgeting for this and this and this. And you download a standard budget off or Excel or one of the software programs, and it has these built-in categories, right? I got to erase so many huge categories like healthcare, transportation, no car payments, no car insurance, no gasoline, no car repairs, no co-pays. The cost of health insurance in the United States has just become ridiculous. It's crazy. I hear if the mutual basis, hundreds of $20 a month. Yes. That's it. So education, our son, if he wants to go to university here, it's free, 100% free. So when you deduct healthcare, when you deduct education, when you deduct transportation, if you choose to live without a car, which is very doable, it's much less expensive to live here. I do know that it's considered the most expensive country in Latin America. South America is right in South America. And I see that, but you also are paying us. I don't have a problem if the cost of living is more with what you get for it, such as free healthcare, free education. To me, that's the benefit. So I don't find the cost of living, I find it less. What we loved about you was that you could do this package, or you could add that, or you could add that. You could do have everything support, or as much as you need, or much as you want. And really what sold us initially was you. It was you. I remember meeting with you online. You took the time online to meet with us and answer all our questions, and just felt like you were sincerely invested in wanting to help us. We met with some other folks online, and it almost seemed like they were too busy to talk to us. It felt rushed. We met with you in person a couple of times, and message you, go back and forth on things. So we've been very impressed, and not just you, but your entire team.